Are you?
Yeah.
From Monty Python.
Am I from Monty Python?
Yeah.
What is that even? What?
The coconuts.
Oh, that sounds like a coconut?
Yeah. It sounds like a guy pretending to be a horse with coconuts.
Ah, see, that's what I was. I was a horse riding into town. Yeah.
Nice.
Like a cowboy, but not the cowboy, just the horse without a cowboy. In a land where horses run things.
Yeah.
Mayor town. America. Mayor?
A mayor. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I see.
Because our guest this week he always has reminded me of a horse.
I feel like he would not take offense to that.
There's nothing offensive about it. It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful animal.
And he's a great guest for our 50th episode, but we should probably tell new listeners what they're listening to right now.
This is the podcast. The podcast.
The Bobcast?
Yep.
The Bobcat.
The Bobcat. This is the podcast, like a bobcat, just springs out at you from the woods. It's called 5 Words.
Yep.
This is Caitlin.
Hi, that's Sean.
That's me. Each week we have a guest that gives us 5 words from a random story of theirs. Based on those 5 words and what we know of the guest, we formulate what we think the story is, pitch it back to them.
Yep.
They tell us if we're wrong or real wrong. Then they tell us the real story, and we chat about it.
Yeah, that's the podcast.
That's it.
And it's our 50th episode, and as our guest, we have Christopher Funk.
I think his legal name is just Chris.
Oh, really?
No, I made that up.
Oh.
Yeah. Chris Funk, guitarist, producer, member of the band, the Novemberistas.
Yeah.
God, that's a fucking joke that's probably been made thousands of times.
Oh my God, for sure.
But a band called the Decemberists.
Yes.
If whether or not you like their music, they've been on The Simpsons,
That's true.
so it doesn't matter. But their music is also pretty goddamn great.
He's also worked with the Shins and Blue Giant, and he has a band called Black Prairie. And he's produced albums for a fuck ton of people. He's a badass. So
Red Fang, he produces
Red
a lot
Fang,
of their
Rhett
stuff.
Miller, yeah,
But the Decemberists are legit great, and
legit.
He came to a show I was doing at the wonderful Helium Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon, and tweeted at me afterwards. And this was like 5 years ago.
Awesome.
And him and I we've hung out a bunch. He's got some crazy stories. He's a fun guy. He's a great all-around guest. And he's in Portland.
Yeah.
Right now. And in Portland, I guess I feel like, I don't know, Portland, it always felt like one of those cities that when the shit hit the fan,
Yeah.
like they would already have something up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Because they had a TV show made about them called Portlandia.
Yeah, I know.
But it turns out, no. Only thing up those sleeves is more tattoos.
Yes.
But still.
And a great musician named Chris
awesome
Funk.
city. Check it out. You're going to love this episode.
Sean, what do you have to plug?
Friday night, 10:33 Eastern Time. Caitlin and I are doing our live streaming show on Twitch at holdthephone.tv. It's called Live at 10:33.
And this week's guest is AJ Holmes from Book of Mormon, South Park, and Star Kid Productions. So you should tune in.
Do it. Yeah, do it. What else are you going to do?
I'm also going to plug...
a lot. But
yeah, you're going to do a lot. But you're also going to watch this live stream show, also at holdthephone.tv. It's my show, Good God. And this week, tonight, when this episode is released, the April 21st, yes.
Yeah.
We have Ron Funches and Dan St. Germain and Alingnon Mitra and a bunch of other people. So tune in, 9 p.m., holdthephone.tv.
There's a lot for you to do this week.
There is.
So start with this episode and jump on the other things, and see you next week. You could email your thanks to...
live at 10:33
live at 10:33 at
gmail.com.
There you go.
That's our shared email. And while Sean coughs, you're not going to cough.
I'm going to hold it. It's a peanut-inspired cough, not anything else.
Well, I'll give you one more thing to do this week. There it is. And that is to go listen to Funk's music. He's releasing a new album, which he'll tell you about at the end of the episode. So you better stay tuned.
Do it.
Enjoy.
Woo. Chris, do you have a Morley pedal?
Like a Morley wah-wah pedal?
Yeah.
I don't here, no. Why?
Oh.
My grandpa invented the Morley wah pedal.
Are you kidding me?
No, yeah, my grandma.
I own one, but not here. I do have one. I thought you meant like right now.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
so many. Sean, the reason Sean brought it up, I guess, is that he's sitting right underneath a bunch of them.
oh, sweet.
They're so
Oh,
big.
yeah, the OG.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, the plugger inner ones.
yeah,
That's amazing. It's the volume wah pedal to be exact.
yeah. We have
Oh
a,
yeah.
we have a ton, obviously, but
Was
there's
that his last name?
no. He was a really big punster, and Leslie was very big at the time and kind of his competitor. So he was like, "Why have Leslie when you can have Morley?" And he did Morley.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rock the Morleys forever.
Wait, this one. This fucking.
Oh, that's amazing.
That one I can bring around.
Ooh.
The other ones are
wow.
harder.
So is that? I mean, those are all like the original ones.
Yeah.
The metal casings, because they're all like black, like now.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many we had up here.
Yeah,
There's like
and there's a ton at my mom's house, but I'm the only
Yeah.
musician in the family, so I'm the only one that's kind of using them, and I'm still not really using them.
So he was like somewhat of an engineer.
He was more of an inventor than, yeah. He
That's so cool.
created the wah pedal just because he liked taking things apart and putting them back together in weird ways.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's rad. I think the Morley that I have now is it's elliptical,
Oh, nice.
meaning not like a trainer. It uses optics for the where the pedal's at instead of like a geared system or a string.
Cool.
But yeah, that's fucking rad, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Are you from the East Coast? Are you from New York?
No, I'm from LA. I grew up in LA.
So he made it out there.
Yeah.
Because I know there was I'm assuming your grandfather was in the 70s or 60s. He started making those.
Yeah.
There was also like Electro-Harmonics, which is in Jersey. So I wonder if he knows those people at all. He probably did.
Yeah.
There weren't many pedal builders back in the day. It was kind of like a weird thing, like to have a guitar. It's like normal now,
Yeah.
but pedals were like a weird thing. People didn't use them.
Yeah, his was one of the first, and it was used by like Black Sabbath and a ton of people. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That is. Wait, Caitlin, are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we're in Pedal Talk.
Yeah. Hey, look, Pedal Talk is I wish. Sometimes I get jealous of musicians based solely on gear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just
I
like,
get jealous of comedians based on the fact that I can't just show up to a club and not have to lug a bunch of gear around. So.
Right. But sometimes, and I'm sure I don't know. Like I guess if a comedian's lugging gear around, it's fucking it's like props.
Yeah.
You know,
a ventriloquist, perhaps.
If I'm lugging gear around, it's actually kind of amazing to me that there's only one Carrot Top, that there hasn't been like another, and I'm sure there are if you dig deep in there.
Well, he was good. I'm sure there's terrible prop comics.
There's Gallagher, but he's more of a stunt man, perhaps.
Yeah, that was more of like a destroy a prop comic. Well, I mean, but that's the thing, like, okay, but Carrot Top, like, the thing that I admire about prop comedy is
we're going deep on Carrot Top. I'm excited.
We really are.
It's neither
like $70 million. He's crazy.
Of course he is. Of course
so
he is.
Crazy.
You don't need to speak English to like get his shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You look at but like that's what I'm saying. Like prop comedy is neither good nor bad. It just is. You know what I mean?
Right.
You laugh at it sometimes because it's like, that's so stupid. And other times because you're like, oh my God, that's actually kind of brilliant.
That'd be a fun challenge for you, Sean, is to do a set of prop comedy only.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of amazing.
Dude, I might. I mean, I got the time.
$70 million.
Yeah, you know?
I know.
I got the time. Just fucking start tinkering with stuff.
Just do a little pivot to prop comedy.
Like I'm completely broke, but I have $1 million worth of comedy props now in a warehouse in fucking Jersey.
I don't even know that's the thing, like that level of like ingenuity to just be sitting around and looking at like a coffee mug and a hairbrush and just being like, holy smokes. I got an idea for I don't even know. What do you see? I can't think of anything, but I'm sure he'd be like, oh yeah, a coffee mug and a hairbrush. Yeah, you throw in a rubber band and there's a very fine line between Carrot Top and MacGyver. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the knife balloon guy. Do you know about that guy?
No.
He's like an Instagram. He's not funny, but his shit's funny. He basically creates installation art using knives, his body, and balloons. That's always the three things.
Didn't he recently injure himself?
He fucking injured himself in the time of COVID, and he was like, he felt like horrible because he needed to go get stitched up and shit. But
yeah, I saw something about this dude.
So you need limitations, Sean.
I mean, that almost is like, that's almost like part of the art right there. Is like, if you have to go get stitched up, this should be part of it during the time of COVID. This is like a part of your art, is learning how to do your own stitches like a fucking cowboy.
Fucking Rambo.
Dude, that reminds me of one time, like I only have probably a couple of handfuls of enjoyable high on marijuana moments in my life, unfortunately, because I get panic attacks every time I get too high.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I remember every time I was high and like loving, and it was good the whole time. But one of those times we invented a game called Steely Man, where it was the idea was all the players dressed in armor covered in hot spikes, right? And the ball was a balloon, okay? And every player had a giant, like those, like, you know, those like Mardi Gras style, like long plastic horns.
Yeah.
That like, but yeah, like you had
Brazilian
one of those.
soccer horn.
Right. And like you had one of those, and that's how you controlled the balloon, is you had to blow it around. And if it fell on you and popped, whatever part of the armor it fell on, you had to remove for the rest of the game.
Right.
And it was full contact also, by the way. So, and the whole time, Steely Dan was there and playing
like live.
Yeah.
Live.
And
Donald Fagen is there.
And they were doing
grumpy as shit.
And they were doing the commentary through their music.
See, I love this. This is almost like my idea for the Pajama Jam Jam.
I
want to do just jam bands, and everyone shows up in their pajamas, and they have to bring jams and jellies, and we just have a spread jam party. Pajama Jam Jam. That's what I want.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'll fucking jam.
Chris, do you watch Ozark?
I am watching Ozark. I'm in the second season, though.
Nice. Okay. I just started the third.
Yeah, because the third came out, and I was like, I should finish first, and then got sucked into second. Yeah.
Now, I this won't ruin anything for you. It's a great show. Keep watching. But REO Speedwagon is in season 3.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and they got like a massive, like basically career boost from this.
Because they I'm going to guess the casino gets built. They come to the casino.
Yeah, you're guessing right. But they're in it. They're in it for an episode, and they play a bunch of REO Speedwagon songs. And
it's pushed them back up.
Well, yeah, that happens. It seems like that's a thing that at this point is almost inevitable. If you're like, do you ever think about that with the Decemberists in like 15 years? If it's like a TV show comes out and it's like, hey, let's get the Decemberists here.
Yeah.
And you guys are all like in your 50s, like, all right, we'll go play. And then there's like, and people are like, you remember the Decemberists from like the 90s and the aughts?
Oh yeah.
When there's like an aught, like you remember like 20, I feel like 10 years ago, there was like a big 80s boom.
Oh yeah.
Now it seems like there's somewhat of a 90s boom. There will be an aught boom.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny too, because bands of our era just fucking don't die. They don't go away. Like you know, we've been this summer, if shit goes right, we're going to do our 20th anniversary tour.
Wow. That's so
But
Jesus.
Like those bands, like Wilco, for example, they're just going to keep going, right?
Yeah.
So they're not falling out of. I don't understand it. It's just like a different frame of mind. But we've joked about this a lot, that we're going to do like a casino tour with the Shins and Modest Mouse and Spoon and the Decemberists. You know, like that'll be our casino tour. But But Spoon's been a band for fucking maybe 30 years, and that dude Britt Daniels, who's a friend of mine, that motherfucker looks like he's just out of high school. It's so strange. So I don't understand.
I saw them in Outside Lands when you did it, Sean, for Best Bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand like how I mean, I'm not saying I look like a spring chicken or anything like that, but we still have like relevance somehow, and we haven't fallen into that. It's so strange.
Well, you guys are a great band, but also I've hung out and partied with y'all. You're pretty chill. Like you're not like I've never hung out with you guys where it's like, oh great, the Decemberists just showed up. Everybody hide your wallets and don't snort anything. Listen, They're gonna have each one of them is gonna offer you a different substance.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Like, no, you guys are like, Chris just ordered up another bottle of wine. Like, watch out.
I mean, that said too, REO Speedwagon is part of our cultural fabric, and they're like they're a giant band, you know. So they're these giant bands that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you guys were on The Simpsons. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but
there's an animation of you.
Mom still asks me if she can send money. Of course, I say yes.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Do you still drive that old school Mercedes? That like 80s?
No, that thing died. No, I live in Portland, Oregon, and shit here like starts to like, it's like nature starts reclaiming old shit here. It's like a green patina on it after a while, and that thing just molded over and kind of croaked out. No,
Dude,
I'm driving a 2018 Honda CRV now.
Damn right, dude.
Fucking dad rock up in here.
Keeping it bad SUV blasting.
That's right.
I mean, I remember. I don't know if you remember this. This was one of my favorite random ass memories. I don't even remember why I was in Portland, because it was for something very.
You're playing Helium.
No, but that was when we met.
Yeah.
Or that no. Then I and I know I was there shooting Best Bars, but I think I was there. It was a third time I was there just for some, and I ended up staying with you, and we went to some karaoke bar.
Right.
And Yim Yames.
Oh yeah.
Some called him Jim James of
My Morning Jacket. Yeah.
I remember we were at this karaoke bar. You went up and sung.
Oh, right.
Fuck, dude. Do you remember? Because you sang it. You like. I thought you were going to go up there and dick around, but you like went up there and.
The only thing I sing at a karaoke bar is probably The Outfield.
Was that what it was then, you think?
I Don't Want to Lose Your Love Tonight, or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll attempt to rap. But
I remember.
I forgot. Yeah, we went out with Jim James. Holy shit.
We got hammered, but I remember like I joking. I'm like, I signed up to do All My Life by Casey and JoJo.
Right. Yeah.
And Jim was like, "Oh, I'll hop on. I'll sing highs if you can do lows." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll just do lows." What the fuck does that mean?
Right. Right.
And we didn't get to because the bar it hit 2 a.m. and
I think that was the Alibi in Portland, which is a tiki bar. I think that was at the Alibi.
Oh, that was a fun. I haven't been to Portland in too long, and I miss it.
Yeah, come on out, man.
I've never been as an adult. So.
What, you came here as a child for your parents were like, yeah, Disneyland's in Portland.
Yeah. No, we didn't.
Yeah. Surprise.
A couple vacations where we drove up the coast and
oh, nice.
Through Portland. And,
oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Caitlin in middle school did a semester of Japanese immersion.
Oh,
that would be hilarious. No. That's a thing. That's what
my daughter does.
Yeah, your daughter. That's right.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from. Yeah, my daughter speaks Japanese.
That's awesome.
She's 13. That's her right over the corner there. That's my daughter right there.
Yeah.
And there's me on a BMX bike. Yeah.
Wait, is your daughter actually fluent in Japanese or
Yeah, she is.
That's
so
amazing.
Cool.
Yep.
So she'll be able to move millions of. I don't even know what is Japan's. I mean everything really. Jesus, yeah. What don't they have? If you ask that.
What's the point of learning Japanese?
No, because I mean, they're. I went to China in 2018, right?
Oh, for a gig?
For a gig, I was doing gigs in China. Yeah.
Wow.
They all speak English relatively well, and there's a ton of expats there.
Right.
Super cool. China, mainland, Hong Kong was amazing. Mainland China was kind of spooky because it was like, oh, this is for real, legit Big Brother communism.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
But everyone there was like, dude, go to Japan. Go to Japan. Japan.
I've always wanted to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fantastic.
You've been a few times.
I have been, yeah. And it's, it is fantastic. Not to undersell the rest of Asia or anything, or undercut the rest of Asia, but the food is fantastic. I didn't eat a bad meal there. You'd just be like, I'm exhausted. I just need to find food right now. And you'd pop in somewhere and it's amazing. Yeah, it's just a beautiful place. I don't know. It's fantastic. The culture's killer. It's great. You guys got to go.
It's also funny when you like. I guess you don't learn this as much as an American, but when I was over there, I learned you learn in detail just how big of dicks they used to be.
Right.
Japan.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, they were fucking assholes. I didn't
Oh, yeah.
realize they were that bad. Like just
Oh, yeah.
just regularly invading mainland China. It's like, well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Monday. What do you want to do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's invade again.
Yeah.
Let's see if we
Totally.
can conquer Shanghai again.
Totally.
Like, whoa, okay.
No, totally.
But
It's
yeah,
easy
like
from the West Coast too. You know, we're like super close to that shit. I mean, relatively. You're in New York, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't even know how you fly to fucking Japan. You got to fly all the way here, 6 hours, and then you got to start the journey. You know.
Yeah.
So.
When I lived in Chicago, I traveled around Southeast Asia and I went through Japan, and that was fucking a long flight. And then the way back, we went the other way around the world and stopped in Qatar. That was like 34 hours of travel.
Yeah.
Wait, you told me once. Didn't you guys like fly to, I want to say Iceland, but maybe not Norway for like one show and then you flew back?
Yeah, we did.
That's insane.
Yeah, because it's far. Yeah, I mean, living in New York, I mean, you guys should just like pop over to fucking London, right?
We've done it quite a bit.
5 hours.
Like,
not a big deal.
5 hours. I mean, it's like us flying to fucking
New York.
Boston or New York. You know? Yeah. No, precisely. I'm so envious of that.
But, yeah, I mean, well, you can get on a flight in 5 hours be in Juneau, Alaska.
Yeah.
You know?
Fantastic.
Or Hawaii. There you go.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Wasn't there a thing you all were supposed to come to Brooklyn to play there was a festival at Prospect Park. I want to say this was like 3-4 years ago, and it didn't happen for some reason. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Yes.
What
I don't
was
remember
it?
Why.
I've been lately.
Shell if it was a Prospect Park thing.
Yeah, but there was it got canceled for some reason, and now
I think our singer Colin, he was losing his voice.
There it is.
So that whole last tour, he's like losing his voice, and we had to reschedule so much shit.
Did he get it back?
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
Now, whenever I think of like things in the past that have been canceled, it's like my brain automatically fills in with like, yeah, it was coronavirus. Like, no, it wasn't.
I know. The great canceller.
Yeah.
Yeah, drag.
So we ask like we do all of our guests for you to give us 5 words. Do you have the 5 words? Can you repeat them to me right now?
I do. I'm gonna double check what they were. I'm pretty sure I know what they were. Here they are.
All right.
Donner.
Right.
Terrorist.
Right.
Shit.
Okay.
Expired.
Right.
Cops.
Boom. Donner, terrorist, shit, expired, cops.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Correct.
So this is the story as we think it is. You were walking down the street one day, minding your own, just musician in your head, thinking of guitar riffs, right? And you look over, you see a sign that says Donner. It says Donner, but you in the moment, being the good-natured human being you are, misread it and thought it said donor. And you thought for a second, we're like, you know what? I'll donate some blood right now. I'm in a good mood. You know, I've been eating a lot of vitamin D and iron. My blood's in a good shape. Yeah, I'll go donate. Right now. So you step into this place.
You go in, and it turns out you read it wrong. It's actually a doner kebab shop.
Right.
And
common mistake.
Well, you know what? I'm hungry. I'll order something.
Yeah, in case I got to give blood later.
Yeah. Right.
And as you're ordering, the owner's son, little kid, 8 years old, comes running out from behind the counter, dressed as a zombie, and is like, scares you. And you're like, whoa, buddy. And the little kid, because he's a kid, and he goes, I'm a terrorist, right? But he's he's saying the wrong word. He's trying to say he's a terrorist, right? Like he scares people.
Oh,
know?
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought maybe he was like in love with the earth.
No.
Like Terra format.
No, that would be interesting. But he's
okay.
Like, I'm a terrorist. And you're like, whoa, buddy,
don't say that.
Yeah. But he did scare you dressed like a little zombie, and you were like, man, I shit myself, metaphorically shit myself. Right?
So you sit down, you eat the food, and you go home, and you start to feel some little rumbly tumblies in your tummy, and you literally shit yourself.
So you figuratively and literally shit yourself in the same day. And,
Okay.
when you're finally feeling nice again, you're like, you know what I should do? I should just go mention to the owner of that shop that,
Something was expired.
something was expired. Something was expired. The meat, we're thinking.
Yeah.
And when you get back over there, the cops are there because someone had called the cops because of the little 8-year-old kid jumping out on the street, scaring people and going, I'm a terrorist. He just, once again, had his language wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, hey, don't worry, officers. He's not.
And that's the story.
And that's the end.
Wow, I applaud you, and thanks for having me on the show because you guys fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how to recap because it's so. Were you there?
It was my shop. You don't recognize me?
I thought I recognized you.
I was the kid.
Yeah. So
Dirty Sean the kebabist.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's one of my. Dude, that could be my prop comedy thing. Is I just make a kebab out of different things.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is anxiety kebab, and it's just like ramen, a thing of Xanax, an iPad stuck on Pornhub.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sorry. Chris? What is the real story?
Holy shit. Well, as you mentioned earlier, my band is kind of, we're just normie. We're just norms. We're not
chill. You're chill.
We're chill as fuck. So I was trying to think of some like tour stories or, and several came to mind. And I mentioned earlier, it's like our 20th anniversary tour supposedly happening in August. So I was trying to think back to like early touring. And then I was like, all right, I remember a story of the first tour of Europe that we ever did. And we went on this tour. First of all, our manager, how much time do I have for this, by the way?
Oh, you got
as long as you want.
Yeah. Our manager sent us on this tour to Europe, and this was 20 years ago, right? That's actually not true. It was about 15 years ago. So 2003 or 2004. Went to Europe. None of us had cell phones,
right?
Which is so crazy to think about, right? Not have that access to that technology.
I feel like 01 to 04, having a cell phone was optional.
It was optional.
Yeah.
T9 was rampant. Texting, what's that?
Yeah.
And went to Europe, went on this tour, and we landed there. We didn't have. When you're first starting out, and like if you're going to Europe and as an American band, you probably got a label, maybe not, but you probably got like a point of contact in Europe. You land and maybe someone's going to meet you at the airport with a van. Right. Like that's like easy to do, and we didn't have that. We had to for some reason, like our manager just didn't have that arranged for us, and we weren't making a lot of money either then. Not that we're making a ton of money now, but we didn't have anything. So land at the airport, find the van in the Netherlands. Find this like shitty van company. Point being, we're like driving ourselves around Europe, and it was a crazy 5-week tour of Europe.
Wait, can one of you drive on the opposite? Oh wait, no, is Europe's on American side driving?
On the American side, but we did end up in England and with that van, so it was weird, driving opposite.
Yeah.
Like double opposite?
Double opposite, which is normal.
Like the car should just disappear. It should just
we're just hovercrafting the whole way.
Yeah.
So we end up, this tour was so poorly routed. We were just driving to gigs without any directions whatsoever. Finally, our manager sent us a fax, like the size of a telephone book, full of MapQuest. We had to go like an internet cafe. Remember those?
Yeah.
Internet cafes.
Cafes. There were hookah bars for kids under 18.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And print this shit out. So were like driving through like fucking Rome, trying to like read all these like instructions of how to get there, Germany, yada yada. So anyways, tensions were high. Like we were like at each other's kind of throats. This is our first trip. Yeah. We're all stressed the fuck out. Colin, our singer, later like looked at the routing of the tour And the tour starting up here, it made a perfect pentagram. Like no kidding. Like of all of our destinations we had visited, it was just the tour that was cursed. The door on the Sprinter van didn't shut. It was a fucking nightmare.
A pentagram. That's you see, that's the kind of shit I would pay far too much attention to. You know?
Of course we kept going, you know.
You're like, why couldn't we just go one more stop south? Then it would make a Star of David. Right?
Exactly. Have some blessings on us at least, you know. But
man.
So we'd take turns driving, and we didn't have any hotels planned out in advance. Like,
right.
You know, we're so fucking handled now, and eventually in the vans we were like a little handled. You could figure out how to figure out where you're going to sleep the next night and wherever you're going. And so we would, I guess I was just thinking about this today. I was like, God, I guess we would just fucking drive into the wilds of whatever country we're at and try to find a hotel after a show.
Mm-hmm.
And
really,
and you know, people still do that, and it was just, for us, that's just like fucking crazy to think back on. And in Europe with like no navigation or whatever, you don't know where you're at. And anyway, so this night, and we're somewhere in Belgium. We had a night off, and we wanted to stay somewhere close to should come as no shock if you're any sort of a Decemberist fan or familiar with our band. We wanted to stay really close to this World War I battlefield because there was these trenches of soldiers that are buried as they were going over the wall, because Belgium had a lot of trenches, you know, as a front line. And we're like, we want to go see this fucking trench because there's these soldiers buried with their bayonets sticking up out of the ground still, and they left it as a memorial. We were like, we want to find that memorial. It'd be so cool. So we're in kind of like, you know, rural Belgium, and Belgium's not that big, trying to find a hotel. And we see a hotel, motel, whatever it is, and we pull over and we go in, and it's like 2:00 in the morning. You just didn't do that. That, you know, it was like the guy who was like sleeping behind the counter probably or whatever. He's like, no, like, fuck you. And I was like, can I use your bathroom? And he was like, no.
Like, get out.
Because we were eating exclusively doner kebab at this time.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Like, we were just like,
it's the perfect tour.
Doner kebab and like fucking warm beer equals, you know. So I was just like, I don't care. I'm going to that bathroom. And I went in the bathroom and came out, and he was like, you know, get the fuck out of here, rude Americans. And
I'll let you finish shitting, but then get the F out of D.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So we leave, and we keep driving down the road, and I was driving, and we see the blue Policia lights behind us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh fuck. And everybody's just looking at me like, how much you had to drink? And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. And I think we were all pretty like loaded at the time, you know, like
driving a van in Europe.
Not to endorse that. Sorry, everyone. It's just what happens on Rock Tour. But and I actually didn't have a driver's license also at the time. And I look over to Colin, and I was like, I don't have a driver's license. And they're all like, what? Like, what the fuck? And so I think it was Jenny or Colin. Jenny's our keyboard player, hopped in the seat for me. And police pull us over, and they're like, what were you doing?
Wait, you pulled that switcheroo? You were able to
pull the switcheroo in the car as we like, yeah, because we're in like a van. They can't see through it. Pulled the switcheroo. And the police are like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? What are you doing here? And we're like, we're musicians, blah, blah, blah. And they look at me, and they're like, we need to see your passport. I'm like, oh, fuck. They saw me driving, and they start looking at my passport. Now, my passport at this time, too, is also a clusterfuck. Like, I don't have a license. My passport was
someone else.
It was someone else. It was I had gotten this passport at in Costa Rica, and back then when you got a passport at a consulate in another country, they wouldn't laminate them.
Oh.
And
wait. You got a passport and a U.S. passport at the consulate in Costa Rica?
Yep, because it had expired. I was traveling in Central America.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I think
I was like, they have you can get them at post offices.
No,
right?
sorry.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't have to go to Costa Rica?
Like, I think I'd gone swimming with it. Long story short, the photo was like stapled on there. And I had been like swimming and, I've got some eyebrows. I probably looked like a fucking drug runner for sure.
Yeah.
And so I hand them this like janky passport and they were like, get out of the car. And they thought that that I had gone into the bathroom to plant a bomb, which
whoa. I did.
Probably did. And so they thought I was a fucking terrorist and questioned me for like a good hour and then let us go. We were finally like, we have fucking instruments in the car. Like, what the fuck?
Jesus, that's so crazy.
That's the fucking story.
This
international hijinks.
No, I don't. I mean, that's a crazy story. I'd also like to say, if you guys ever write like a European road tour movie, that is the setup for like the musical scene where you're like, we have the instruments in the van, and they're like, if you are the musicians, prove it to us right now. Like, guys, and then he's just right there.
People are like cartwheeling across the frame.
Yeah.
Video, man.
Do a concert right there.
Yeah, that tour was terrible.
Like what? Because I was about to ask, when you do a tour like that, are you doing like, how big are the venues even? Are they like this bar room type?
Yeah, like 50 people.
Really?
And then like because we were on Kill Rock Stars, which is a infamous indie rock label from the Pacific Northwest. Cedar Kinney, Elliott Smith. That translated to the British market, but not everywhere else. So you'd play England and get 200 people your first time, which was encouraging. Or like London.
Yeah.
No, you're not playing for anybody.
That's crazy because it seemed like there too was a time where like getting signed to a specific label was like huge.
I mean, that label was the gateway to our career for sure. I mean, to me, to even go to Europe and play for 50 people is a success, or
sure.
Salt Lake City, Utah, or wherever, that wasn't Portland.
I mean I mean, Kill Rock Stars had a couple comedians on it as well. I think it still does.
Really?
Yeah, Kurt
Braunohler. Yeah,
Amy Miller.
I think Hari Kondabolu. I think.
Yep, I think you're right.
And I think also Rhea Butcher. I think
you're correct.
Yeah, so like it's got a couple comedians as well.
It's a great label.
But that was also when you're talking. You said it was like 03, 04. That was also, and I feel like I talk about this too much, but that was before the internet, and I don't mean the internet's existence. I mean before it was a tool.
Yeah,
like that was pre-YouTube.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, social media did not exist.
No,
you couldn't tweet. Or even like MySpace. You couldn't even do a MySpace post because MySpace wasn't really even around yet.
No.
I think in 03 and 04 you had Friendster.
Yeah.
And like, so you couldn't be like that's the thing about now when you're touring where you could just be tweeting and Instagramming and TikToking and fucking just constantly putting out content about where you're going to be. And that will at least drive a handful or more people to the show. Back then it was like, boy, I hope those ads we paid money to run in their local Belgian newspaper. I hope people read it.
I hope the posters got to the venue.
Yeah.
Like for real.
I hope the local radio station has been playing our fucking single.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Radio.
Yep, radio mattered then.
It mattered then. It was huge then. And
yeah.
God.
Also, that was kind of the beginning, though, of file sharing, which is just called Spotify now, or Apple Music or whatever. Yeah. And that really helped us.
Was that Napster?
It was era Napster. So I remember coming to a venue in like Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and someone and us being like, "How did you hear about our band?" And they're like, "Oh, someone burned me a record, that was burned me a CD, right?"
Yeah.
So that really helped us out, which
Wait,
is
Caitlin, what did you say?
I said LimeWire.
LimeWire. Yep, yep. Those sites helped us, as much as they've also shifted the way we earn money. I'll have to say it politely.
Dude, I also,
guess,
I mean, I know the first time I've told you the first how I heard about you guys for the first time, right? I'm taking
Yeah.
a picture. I did tell you this.
I vaguely remember, but
No,
yes.
it was at my sister. This was in the year 2000. It was in 2005. This was like early summer New Orleans, 2005. My sister was like, "Hey, I'll come see this band called Mock Tube."
Oh yeah.
Right, and that was, if you don't know who Mock Tube is, listeners, that's Reggie Watts. That was his
Reggie.
band. Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, great. And we went, and they were doing the House of Blues in the Parish Room, which is like 100.
Oh yeah.
200, yeah, small room, but they were great. They were a lot of fun. And that was also, like, at the time I was 20, I was in my mid 20s, and I didn't really realize, I never thought about the idea that my younger sister would have better musical taste than me. So, because I would never have heard about, I was just not, I was a hip hop guy, and I never really, but anyway, she was like, hey, they were great. And then on the drive home, we were driving back to my parents' house, which was like a half hour away. She played a Decemberist album.
That's right.
And I remember just being like, who the fuck is this? Now, who are they? And she was like, oh, the Decemberists. And I had heard that name before. And that's when I got into you guys. But I do know that she then burnt me like 2 CDs of just like a scramble, like a Decemberist song scramble.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't sure.
Mixtape.
Yeah. But like burnt CDs. Yeah. That you kept in that thing above, like on your visor.
Yeah, that people would steal. People would steal those.
Yeah, yeah.
Totally. I remember leaving for a tour and having you've got your big stack of CDs in this zip up case thing and arguing who's playing music over the stereo and shit. I mean, it's hilarious to like sit and wax like an old man, because maybe I am, but it wasn't that long ago. Technology just moves so quickly now, which is cool. But it doesn't seem like that long ago.
I mean, I'll tell you a great, Case Logic. That's what they were called.
Case Logic. That's right.
So, and this is a shout out to my boy Darius Daftary, but this is a thing he did. He had the small Case Logic. He had one of those where it was just full of burnt CDs, and they all had, different, Outkast, AT-Aliens, Deftones, Around the Fur, they were all different, but every single one of those CDs had the song Living After Midnight by Judas Priest burnt on it 10 times. So it was a joke we'd play that only we thought it was hilarious, but whenever anyone was in the car, we'd be like, hey, pick a CD. And they'd pick something, and we'd put it on, and it would just be Living After Midnight. Oh, but Darius and I would pretend like it was whatever band it was. We're like, right. So fucking... Man, like, Method Man kills it on this verse, dude. And there'd just be, living! He just did it so many times. And so great. No one cared.
That's so amazing.
But that's the kind of shit I'm like, I don't know, like the internet. Because, I mean, think about right now, we're doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no one's listening to this on an iPod.
No. Yeah. Let's change the name.
Caitlin, what would you call this right now if you had to come up with a new name right now?
For a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Something silly to say, like periwinkle or hurdy-gurdy. Some fun word.
Yeah, damn right. Bam. I mean, I don't know, because Caitlin and I have definitely, she's done festivals in England. And we both done the Edinburgh Fringe, and then we did shows. We both went to Norway once to do shows. Caitlin's been a second. Yeah. She's been by herself. That's also weird because, I know when you guys are playing in a foreign speaking land, they, it's like music kind of transcends language in many different ways. But It's real fucking weird when you're in Bergen. And you're doing a comedy show, and the 3 comics before you are performing in Norwegian. So
Right.
it sucks because not only do you not, if you don't speak Norwegian, you A, don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
It's hard to tell what the audience is laughing at. But B,
Right.
you don't know that they might be up there right there, then and there talking about, fucking sandwich meat. And then you're like, well, I hope my bologna bit works here.
Right.
And then you go up and now you're just doing the exact same fucking thing and you have no clue. That shit's weird. Language.
That's very strange to think about being solely reliant on language and then the nuances of delivery and cultural references in a foreign culture to entertainment. I mean, yeah,
Buddy.
that's strange because like there's a lot of like ABBA, for example. I don't know why ABBA comes to mind, but ABBA,
Why not?
they sing in English, right? So there's this idea of like if we sing in English, we will be a worldwide phenomenon, right?
Right.
But comedians are like, no, I want to do comedy in my country. Like, I want to do like Chinese comedy, or I want to do Korean comedy, or I want to do
No.
comedy that's relevant to our culture. So that's interesting that you would have gigs in places that don't speak English as their first tongue.
Yeah.
What a fucking pain in the ass.
It's super crazy too. Then, like, you'll watch their set, you have no idea what's happening. They'll do act outs, and then they'll throw in some slang word that is the English word. So it's just like gibberish, and then like, what is the one word that we heard them say? Oh, like pug, or like
the pug.
It's super weird. Yeah.
Or sometimes it's it's like a proper noun, like "Es que fruta juice that Toyota Corolla." And you're like, oh, I guess there's no translation. Wait, oh, that's a good one. So like 5 years ago, we were in Amsterdam, and excuse me, and I was doing a spot on this show where like the host spoke English because he was an American, but all the other comics all performed in Dutch. And
oh wow!
I remember
balls in the back.
Yeah.
I have never had so much fun as an audience member. I had no idea what anyone was saying, and I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, Caitlin was ripped on so much legal weed and laughing so hard at these guys who were like, "There's the fruit that eat the bush that the first Arnold Schwarzenegger." And it's like, was he just impersonating the Predator? And Caitlin's like, "I don't know," just like tears. And I'm like, yeah, I guess comedy can transcend language too if you're fucking ripped enough.
Yeah,
it can. No, it can.
If you
the power of the laugh.
Yeah, enough THC in your system. Chris, what is you plugged this on our show the other night, but what you've got a new album coming out right now?
Yeah, I do. I made an album. It's called The Painted Porch, and it's a album of improvised guitar that I did over 3 days over December of 2018, and then I added to it and added various musicians to it as well. So it's an instrumental album. It's kind of, my friend's like, "Oh, you made a jazz record," and I was like, "Fucking thanks, man. I didn't know." Yeah, but it has some synth on it, and it's kind of guitar. I called it a guitar record because that was the origin of it. Was like going into the studio and just playing, and then like not having any prescribed songs at all or anything, and just improvising and editing that. So that's going to come out in a week or so, and then it'll be on vinyl. But all of the proceeds are going to this local organization called the Jeremy Wilson Foundation, which is a music-focused nonprofit. So say you are a musician and you want to do a GoFundMe, for example. GoFundMe's as a medical GoFundMe are actually dinged for taxes often. So it's sort of a shelter. I don't want to say it's a shelter because that has a strange connotation, but they shelter the expense of the taxes. But now they are focusing funds to go for COVID reliefs. So
sweet.
Cool.
relief. So
what is that? Is that on any specific platform, label, or?
Yeah, it's on a label called Jealous Butcher. So it'll come out as vinyl also, and then I just decided like to release it now. It seems strange to ask people for money for something, so I decided to give all the proceeds to that. Or you can go to the Decemberist website and find links for that as well.
Yeah, do it. Check it out.
Yeah,
That's and go see. I hope you guys sell out that 20th reunion tour. That's amazing. 20 years.
Yeah, it's in August. We'll see if it happens or not. So
Are you
I
going to
don't
come
know.
through New York?
We are. Yeah, we're gonna play Central Park Summer Stage, I think.
Cool.
Oh, dude,
Hopefully we're there.
That is something we have never talked about. One of my biggest regrets
Was
on this small level, anyway, was this was in 2015. You guys were playing at the Greek in LA.
Oh yeah.
Okay? At the time, Caitlin was in England. I was in LA. I was living in LA at the time. And you hit me up out of nowhere. I was like, hey, man, we're playing the Greek. Want to come? And I was like, of course I do. And
Yeah.
you were like, all right, backstage pass, whatever you need. But that same fucking night, my roommate, Ryan Creppen, throwing this out there, fucking giving you, this is an anti-shout out. Still love you, Ryan, but you fucked me. He had ordered the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight. It was that same night, right? And when I told him that I was going to come to you guys' show, he turned it around and was like, I'm having this. Oh, yeah. He was also having a party at our apartment. And he was like, this was your idea, which it wasn't. He still maintains to this day that I convinced him to order the fight and to throw a party. So he guilted me into having to text you and be like, hey, man, I can't come to the show.
I would watch the fight. You made the right choice.
It was a terrible fight. Do you remember that fight?
I do remember the fight.
It was a boring fucking fight watching two already 8-figure millionaires make more money. Right. I would have much rather seen you guys at the Greek, but I did meet up with you and me, and I can't remember the other two guys, they're comedians. We ended up at one of those after-hour bars in Echo Park, which are strange. Those places are strange, but they're fun.
Yeah, that place with like the big white cushions, or like looks like an Italian like horror movie might be shot in there or something. That place. Who were those?
That was fun, but do you remember the thing is you can't.
Oh no! Then we ended up at that Thai restaurant. The Thai restaurant.
But it was It was like after hours.
Was it. Yes.
Where all they served was like Miller Lite in cups, coffee cups. But you couldn't order beer. You had to call it cappuccino. Yes. And if you said beer or anything booze related, they asked you to leave. But if you were like, oh, I need 3 cappuccinos.
Yeah.
Give you,
No, but it was a comedy night happening. And I fell in love that night.
What?
Did you?
Oh, yeah. No, I remember a woman, like, I'm totally kidding when I said I fell in love. There were women so much fucking blow in that place.
I thought it was just a bunch of fucking comedians and you. I mean, not to say, yes, they're female comedians, but I don't remember. I just remember it being like me, you, and 3 other dudes.
No one gave us blow, but this woman sat on my lap and was like professing her love to me. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm finally having like this moment on tour where there's a woman involved, which has never happened in my life on tour once. And that's how fucking square I am and our band is. And then she got up and left. And I was like, oh, everybody's fucking flying in here. I forgot about that place. It's Thai. It was a Thai restaurant.
It was a Thai restaurant.
Pretty fun comedy night.
Yeah. I don't want to say where it is in case it's still open. But
it rules.
The place was great. And I know everyone knows where it is. I don't even have to fucking say.
I saw the dashboard lights for like an hour in there, man. It was great.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say you guys are square. You're more of a rhombus.
We're polyhedral, thank you.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, man. Check out the Decemberists if you don't already know who they are. They are fantastic. Do you still work with Red Fang?
I do, actually. I just made another record for them that's supposed to come out in May, which I think is going to get pushed back. But I just produced another. So I produce records also for people and have a studio in Portland.
Yeah.
And it will come out probably in the fall. This is my 3rd record I've made with them.
Awesome. Yeah, Google Red Fang and watch that video with all the PBR. That's a fucking great
Historic
video.
Dog. Yeah, they're very, very funny. Very funny band. And amazing band.
Yeah, they're great. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, stay safe. And next time we can get together, let's please do. It's been too long.
Let's book some shows for both of you in Portland or something. Selfishly.
Exactly. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming on, my friend.
For sure.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye, guys. See you.
Hey, this is Caitlin. As you may know, I like to end every episode with a song. And given that this is Chris Funk's episode, I did spend the past several hours attempting to cover my favorite Decemberist song, Make You Better. But it just hasn't turned out quite the way that I wanted. So I thought that I would share a song that I wrote that I am really proud of. It's under my moniker Candid Bandit, and it's called Every Shade of Green.